Hey, we're here at the Sophia Studios, and I have my shop black Warmoth Stratocaster. It's been through a couple of installs and everything, but it's a very nice sounding guitar, and we've done a video with it featuring the Fender roller nut locking tuners. And this is our I think probably one of our nicest Fender style bridges. It's called the Deluxe, and in this case we added the Uno single stabilizer to it, and this one's a variable when you can adjust this for how much stabilization you have on it when it comes back to it. Acts like a shock absorber for a car. And when you combine with our stop blocks, we have a little screw here so you can adjust this to the length and then lock it into position. And then the first thing you do on an install is make sure that that's correct, so that when you're pivoting and hits the body just like that, kaboom, the base plate's really where it's supposed to be. So that's been set up in advance of this. So you can see here, the base plate's parallel to the body, 90 to the risers, and right there, that soft stop, that single stabilizer is hitting. And so we're gonna string it up, bounce the springs, and have a super stabilized guitar with the Sophia 222. That's the difference, the distance between the two riser posts. Deluxe, meaning dual loading, top loading, locking saddles. And it's an Uno or a Uno. So it's a Sophia 222 Deluxe Uno. Just like our macro tuners, you just slip it through the back and go over the bridge point or the witness point. And just like the macro tuners, although it is hardly as emphasized here, it's a gentle locking. Like the macro tuners, it does not take a lot of force to ensure that they're locked from the system. It's a very easy thread, slips right through, simple to lock. It's the same hardened lever mechanism we have in our macro tuners. Been using for nearly 7 years. I've never seen one break. The screws maybe, but not the levers. Here's an example of the lever we have, and it pivots here. So as you can see, when it's locked, it locks right below here, and you have a really good string angle and contact. Usually I put, like probably everybody else, put a little tension on it, flip it over, and a spring. The way I normally do this to make tuning faster is to use the tremolo arm to essentially put it in position, hold it with this hand, and then tune the individual strings accordingly. Like this should be an A or an A flat. I think I'll do this to E flat guitar. So in the setup here, you want the contact pin here to be just touching. So as you see here, in this position, it's just touching, and comparing that to where the base plate is, it's tilted up a little bit. This means that this has to be rotated back a little bit. And so we include this little stubby screwdriver wrench, so you can back this out a little bit and then relock it and adjust it on the fly if there was ever any question about the best position of it. So what I'm doing here now is moving it away from the body, and let's see how close we are now. So Still a little bit, but let's check the tuning because this is where we want it to end up. And right there, right there is really pretty good. So that's where it hits. So I adjusted that on the fly with the wrench we give you, and then with the other wrench, you can lock its position here. Creaky and all, it'll go down there and grab those threads, and there you are. And you have the setup finished, and a tool that you can use to finish the setup or adjust it. It's the same tool you can use for the riser posts. It's a nice wrench. So we're just going to finish balancing this out by tuning it, and we should be there. All right, so I'm pretty much done with this setup, and if you notice, this pin just barely touches the body, right there, just barely. There's plenty of room here for dropping, and you can adjust the depth of this with this wrench that we provide, and then lock it in position so your setup is done. And the way I finally got this was by adjusting this length versus the pitch, so that once it's in position, it's just ever so tapping, just like that. Just the slightest bit. Here's an open G. There you go. Totally stabilized. Locking saddles, roller nut, locking tuning pegs, a fantastic combination. The stabilization, the locking, roller nuts, and the locking through. This is the Sophia 222 Deluxe, you know. Thanks for checking in, guys. I really appreciate it. It's a joy. We love this stuff.